Johnny Depp's heartbreaking question: why do I always hurt in finding the love? There are questions in life that remain like the shadows, following you through the decades, whispering in the dark when no one else is around. For the Johnny Depp, one of those questions is both simple and devastating. Why do I always hurt in finding the love? It's not a question born out of the bitterness, but out of the scares layered over the years of the giving, losing, trusting, and breaking. Death's journey through love has been the dramatic and the raw that roles he has played on the screen, yet no script, no director, and no stage could ever capture the depth of his personal heartbreaks. Behind the fame, wealth, and the legendary career lies a man who has spent a lifetime searching for the kind of love that never seems to last without the pain. A lifetime of longing. From the earliest days, Johnny Depp wore his heart on his sleeves. He was never the kind of the man who sought shallow connections. He dove into the relationships head first, often giving more himself than the received in the return. To him, love was never casual. It is a fire, passion, and devotion, a complete surrender. But with the surrender came wounds. For every time he trusted, he found the betrayal. For every promise whispered into the quiet of night, there was a echoes of the disappointments. And so, through the years, Depp found himself asking the same question over and over: why does love hurt me so deeply when I only ever wanted it to heal me? Love and the pain intertwined. The truth is Depp, the Johnny Depp has never shied away from the love, even when it hurts him the most. He admitted once that he was the kind of the person he would rather feel everything, every breakthrough, and then feeling nothing at all. Yet the irony of his openness in his is that left him exposed. Relationship that begins with the fireworks often ended with a silence, distance, and broken trust. The world has watched his romances unravel in the public eye, magnified by the headlines and the gossip. Each time the pain was not just personal, it was the global. Millions dissected his heartbreak while he carried the weight in the silence. Why do I always hurt in finding the love for depth? The answer has never been clear. Sometimes he blamed himself, wondering if his intensity too was too much, his expectations too high, and his wounds too raw. Other times he saw the cruelty of the fate, placing him in the situations where love came with the conditions, games, or the betrayals. The shadow of trust. One of the greatest burdens Depp has carried in his love is trust. Trust once broken does not simply repair. It becomes a fragile, a proclaim vase glued back together but always at the risk of shattering again. After the public betrayals and the messy separations, Depp's trust has been tested again and again. Yet in his heart, he remains someone who wants to believe, someone who wants to see the goodness in the people. And therein lies the paradox, the every and very quality that makes him capable of deep love. His faith in others is also the quality that leaves him vulnerable to the pain. This cycle has left him the questioning: it is better to love deeply and risk devastation, or to protect oneself and risk never knowing love at all. A man who loves too much. Those closest to the Johnny Depp often describes that him as a man who loves too much. He does not love halfway. When he cares, he pours his soul into the other person, from the grand gestures of the to the smallest act of the kindness. He invests in the love as if it is the most precious treasure in the existence. But this kind of the devotion can be overwhelming. Not everyone can match the depth. Some take the advantage of it, others walk away because they cannot respirate the intensity. And for the depth, each departure feels like the betrayal of the very essence of who is he. Why do I always hurt in finding love? Perhaps because the world is not always kind to people who love, and give everything without the hesitation. Lesson craved by the heartbreak. Through each heartbreak, Depp has learned the lessons that are both beautiful and the cruel. He has learned that love is not always forever, that people can change, and that the promises can be broken no matter how scared they feel in the moment. Yet he has also learned that love, even when painful, shapes us. It leaves us changed, more human, more aware of the fragility. Every heartbreak has craved and carved another line into the deaf soul, but also another depth into the capacity to feel. In the interviews, he has been spoken that about love as both his greatest joy and the greatest tragedy. To him, love is not just something you can live without, even if it destroys you. It is a better to be broken by the love that you untouched by it. The fear of being alone. For a man like the Johnny Depp, solitude can be both a friend and an enemy. He has spent long nights reflecting, surrounded by the silence, with only his thoughts and the memories for the companies. In those moments, the question echoes louder than ever. Why do I always hurt in finding love? The fear of being alone, of finding or never finding that one person who trustfully says that weighs heavily. While many see him as a legend, an icon, and a star, he often just sees himself as a man who longs for a simple, loyal, enduring love, a love that does not break, betray, or fade. Searching for the answers. So, what is the answer to Depp's heartbreaking question? Perhaps there is not a single truth. Maybe the love hurts because it's must. Because only through the pain do we recognize the beauty, its rarity, its worth. Or perhaps the love hints hurt is because yet to meet the one who can match his depth, his reality, and loyalty, and his fire. Maybe the heart is not the punishment, but it's a preparation leading him towards something truer, purer, and lasting. For the Johnny Depp, love remains both a wound and a hope. Despite everything, he still believes that despite every scare, he still searches, and maybe that is the truest measure of his heart. Not can be, not has been broken, but about the continuous open himself and once time and again. Concludedly, we can say that Johnny Depp's question, why do I fall and love and hurting always in love, is just not just his. It belongs to the everyone who ever loved deeply and lost painfully. It is a question of the souls who give everything and are left with the nothing. But perhaps the answer is not lies in the avoiding hurt, but in the understanding that hurt is the price of love. Every wound is a proof that he was broken, brave, and enough to care, to risk, to hope, and maybe, just maybe, one day we'll find the kind of love that does not hurt, that kind that stays. Until then, he remains the man of depth, vulnerability, and the courage, still searching, still asking, still believing that love, no matter how much it hurts, is always worth it. So, friends and dear family, if you find this video as interesting, then you have to subscribe my channel, and I wish you very best of luck.